Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy MumboElite. Welcome back to another video. And today we are going to be talking a ton about League SBCs. We got less than a week until these go away. What will EA bring to replace these? Will there be changes that are made? We're going to discuss that all in this video. So if you do enjoy, smack that like button, subscribe if you're new, and comment down below. What do you think EA should change to make these potentially better? I know a lot of you guys are saying we do not need a Libertadores and Sudamericana section in both of these SBCs. It would make sense to remove the one in the mixed league in this section where you only need a 60 rated squad and make this something like the Portuguese league, make this the CSL, make this the Argentinian league. You could make this literally anything and it'd make this whole SBC relatively cheap compared to what it is now. Same thing with the premium mixed league upgrade. If you change the one in the mix, you could keep the Lib and Sud here. I think they did well compared to last year, changing these sections up, making the League 1 in Eredivisie the higher rated SBC, making the Lib and Sud the lower rated SBC. But since they did the thing where they have it in both the sections, these have carried a little bit more value than people would like. At the time of recording this video, most cards are 2,000 to 2,100 coins. I believe the day I upload this video, the day before is the one where I talked about my Lib and Sud investment, where I'm picking up a lot of Libs for 1,800 to 1,900 coins, and I'm already starting to flip a ton of them for lazy lists to 2,200, 2,300 on the low end. And then we're also club stocking those and hoping they get higher up in price, 25 to 3K like they were last week. But that's a separate thing. This is going to be different than that. We're going to talk about what that could mean to prices of the Libs and Suds if these do go away. If they come back, what that could do. So let's go over all that now. So first and foremost, I think the mixed league upgrade, a lot of people do want to grind this one. There's a ton of people who love BPM and love spamming this. Even without bronze pack method, this whole SBC is relatively cheap to the point of if you replace the Lib and Sud, this would be doable for most people. The rating's not crazy. You can get most of the cards very easily. And even in previous years, if you wanted to spend liquid coins to buy out some of these teams, it wasn't too expensive. But kind of trade-off is the kind of packs you get aren't the greatest in the world, but is used as a stepping stone to grind the premium mixed league upgrade. We have a tutorial on our channel where I focus just on the premium mixed league upgrade. I personally like spending coins on this section and doing a lot of trading / flipping to pay for this section because we love the price of the Lib and Suds in terms of their ability to get them for less, sell them for more, and then also when we notice their price is low during the week, sell them at a huge premium later in the week, or even on a day-to-day basis, depending on the supply. But if we get, let's say, the same SBCs, but the mix is replaced, I would be very surprised if these cards were anything above 1,500 and could potentially get down to 1,000 or under. However, I think a lot of people are thinking that Lib and Sud cards are just going to drop dramatically in price, and this SBC is going to cost next to nothing to complete after that. I think that's where some people are wrong. I would say whatever is lost in the Lib and Sud section, you're going to see made up in some other areas. So if we go into Eredivisie right now, by the time I'm recording this video, we still have the challenge out for the silver bullet for the objective for Ultimate Scream to get those bonus cards. If you haven't completed that SBC in the challenge section, that one requires all silvers. You need at least a 72 rating and a lot of top leagues that share the same nation. So like a lot of French players that are from League 1 went up a ton, especially if they're 72 rated and above. You had a lot of Eredivisie cards that are from the Netherlands go up a ton, and a lot of those hold extra value. But outside of that, a lot of the times you could pick up these Eredivisie Netherlands cards for like 200 coins, 150 on bid. And what I've been doing is I've been picking these up for 150 on bid and flipping throughout the week for, let's say, 300 to 400 coins because the market goes up and down. As people are completing the Lib and Sud section, if they have a bunch of the untradables already, they're not spending a ton to get that section completed, and they're getting liquid coins from that jumbo gold pack. A lot of people are willing to spend a little bit to get this section done. So these cards usually rise a little bit and go down throughout the week a little. But before this SBC goes away, what would I recommend? I would say if you can pick up a lot of these Eredivisie cards for 150, you are going to be in a really good position, especially a lot of the 70+ ones. If you can get a lot of good rated ones for open bid for 150, we already know how good of a silver common club stock method is. We showed you evidence of that, making hundreds of thousands of coins through daily SBCs. Our first million coins we've made on this channel this year was mainly through silver club stocking for daily SBCs and other things that came out. But if these league SBCs come back and there's minor tweaks to it, these things will hold more value just because the other sections are cheaper. People have more coins to spend in other areas. So that wouldn't be a bad thing to pick up. You could also potentially look at the Bundesliga and Serie A section. This is a 77 rated. A bunch of people are going to use untradeable golds, but you might see some silvers that spike a little bit. I wouldn't worry about that too much. Usually these stay relatively the same price, and usually people use mainly golds, so the bronzes and silvers don't move. But this section here with the 74 rating, I think people, when they're doing this more, are going to struggle to get that 74 rating. So that would be something I'd keep in mind. Now, in terms of the mixed league upgrade, let's say hypothetically this changed to a different league. I don't think you have to in advance invest in any league. If it's going to be basically 60 rated again, if that's what we assume, any league you could just pick up the bronzes or you'll get them in BPM. If you're already doing BPM and you're wanting to maybe hold on to some of those cards in a league and not put them into bronze upgrades, maybe you just club stock everything, and once you start getting dupes, you call it for BPM for the week and you wait until these refresh to see if anything else comes out. But like I said before, I won't be too worried about that section. And if the rest stay the same, which I think these are perfectly fine, we could see this SBC be a decent one to grind over and over. But again, the packs in it aren't the greatest. The last one, the small rare gold players pack that you get at the end, is pretty good, but the premium mix, I think, is still infinitely clear. And now, with the prices dropping in these, let's say the Libin Suds half in price. Instead of them being roughly 2K right now, let's say they get down to 1,000 coins. Can you still trade with them? Can you still invest in them? Can you still flip with them? Absolutely. Just because their price is now lower doesn't mean they lose their value in terms of how I recommend grinding it, which we have videos on the channel if you want to see the exact methods with that. But that would still be a good range where you can snipe them. Hopefully there'd be less competition at that point because less people would care about them if they're this expensive. People wouldn't be doing BPM as much to get them, and the bronze cards would probably not be as valuable as the silvers because you need that 68 rating. So a lot of less people will be on these sort of things. But I would look for the same kind of things we do now, where you look for the buy now, what it's going for within the hour. Then if you can mass bid under it, sweet. But then if you can find the 72s, 73s, 74s, all those kind of higher rated ones for silvers, especially the rares. If you can find the rares mixed in here, that's perfect because it still has a certain amount of rares you need for the SBC. If you can start sniping those cards at the current market price when it comes out, you're going to be making some good coins on that. So those would be the areas that I'd recommend looking at when the SBC comes back out, if it does come back out, and those changes have happened. Now, just because we're saying that could potentially happen doesn't mean any of this is guaranteed. In 6 days or whenever you're watching this video, we might have these same exact SBCs come back out. Historically, EA has done that a lot of times where they have a refresh, but they keep everything basically the same. Maybe little tweaks here and there, but I wouldn't expect too much. Hopefully that section. There could be the chance too that these don't come back right away. What happens if these don't come back right after they're supposed to refresh? That could be an opportunity where a bunch of people who still have libs and suds in their club, they want to get rid of those because they think they're going to have no value anymore. And if they get down to the point where you can get them for extremely cheap on bid, I'm talking like 150 open bid. If that's a reality again, remember at the start of this game when we told you guys to invest in lib and suds for 150 for the silver commons and 300 for the silver rares? We made absolute bank selling those for 2 to 3K, a lot of those different cards. But this time around, if they come back and they're not as expensive, that would still be a good investment because they would still have value, even if it's not the same amount they had before. So if these go away, nothing comes back right away, great investment opportunity to pick up those and everything else that you'd think would be into League SBCs. But if they do refresh right away and it's easier requirements and the SBC becomes cheaper in that section, you can still trade, flip, and invest off of those new prices. I would just give it a little bit of time to settle. I wouldn't just get them right away and try to buy it out. I'd wait to see maybe like 24, 48 hours and see what they settle at. Because when this first came out, we had a lot of lib and sud cards, obviously start at those super low prices. We saw a bunch of people, including myself, make videos where we thought these would be like 300, 400, 500 coins. And then out of nowhere, they just kept rising 800, 1,000, 1,500, 2K, even with the change of requirements. Now, let's say these stay the exact same, whether that be a leak that we get, EA's keeping it the same, Foot Sheriff and all those guys tweet about it, or if not only they tweet about it, if we come on in new content and we see the exact same thing came out that day, I would assume prices would stay then relatively the same. You might have had people sell off in advance, so prices might be down a little bit. If that's the case, maybe capitalize on those and start buying those out if it's the same requirements, because theoretically people would be doing the same thing, could get back to the same price. But at that point, I wouldn't worry too much about it. I think right now, with EA's new way of taking feedback, really wanting to listen to the community, as they say, they are going to probably make a change like that. Personally, I don't mind the League SBCs too much right now. We're doing the Premium Mixed League upgrade about 5 to 10 times a day, 5 during the week usually each day, and then during the weekends we can do about 10. And we're making good coins back from that. Like I've said before, we can do about 5 really easily for a profit with the amount of lib and suds we pick up and the amount we're able to flip that we don't use. But getting past that 5, it becomes extremely difficult because you're getting low on those libs and suds. You no longer have the untradeable ones that you got from your dailies, and you're essentially just having to rely on pack luck or club stocking the tradable cards you get, let's say like gold commons that are from top leagues, top nations, and wait for a daily SBC for them to shoot to the moon. You have chem styles and stuff you could get in the jumbo gold pack, but besides that, most people aren't profiting pack to pack, especially if you're only trying to do one run. It's when you go in bulk that you really see a huge difference in terms of potential profit, ways of grinding it in the long term. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. Essentially, I just wanted to make this video to go over all the different scenarios that I think might happen. I think the most realistic one is the case where they bring this back with the change of the mixed league, drop in the lib and sud. That'd make the most sense. If I'm EA, I probably don't want to do too much work. I could probably keep that the same and then fix everyone's problem with this section. So hopefully that's the case. Hopefully we get more of a menu grind in the future. I know a lot of you guys really want to grind League SBCs, and if this can help you guys do it more on a day-to-day basis, hopefully that's super helpful. So again, if you did enjoy, smack the like button, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you next time. It's been your boy MumboElite. I'm out. God bless.